So our last and final topic segment is our mindset one. And really, we just wanted to kind of dive into, obviously, in the tech industry and a number of other industries, we've been seeing a lot of people be let go, lose their jobs, which is, obviously frustrating for a lot of those people. But as a business owner, sometimes you have to make tough decisions to save a company. I remember when Steve Jobs took over Apple for the second time. After he started, he was successful, got kicked out of his own company, came back. They begged him to come back, and come back he did. And he was the doctor. He was cutting arms off that weren't functioning. He had to fire a significant amount of the staff in order to save that company, and he certainly did. So wherever you're at as a business owner, you have to make those tough choices. But for everyone, you're an employee out there, maybe you're an entrepreneur. What are the common denominators you think or feel as to why people end up getting fired and losing their jobs?
I would say that it comes down to one of two things, either a lack of accountability or laziness. I think those are the two major reasons why that would lead to someone getting fired. I mean, for me, if someone is busting their ass and trying and doing extra homework and really they're not performing, but they're doing everything they can, that person's not getting fired. They may be retooled and repurposed, but laziness and lack of accountability are two things those are characteristics that you can't change as an employer.
It's like the values and principles that we talk about. Like if somebody has high character, they're working hard, they're coachable, they're trying to get better, they're asking questions, what they can do, how they can contribute more to the company. Even if they started a lower maybe a talent evaluation, that person you want to ride with because they want to get better, and they'll surprise you and over time will. And then other people who maybe come in with higher talent, and this is what's so sad. And we've seen this over the last 4 or 5 years with a number of employees who come in and they're very talented and they do a great job. And at some point they become their own worst enemy and they don't follow through. They miss appointments. They become very entitled and they stop working hard like they did. And they're always, thinking they deserve more even though they haven't earned more. And one of the big keys is if you're part of generating income, we'll add kind of a third one in there, then that's important, right? If you help to generate income or to protect income for a business, then it's very rare that you're ever going to be let go. But you're absolutely right. Like if you're not showing the work ethic and you're violating the culture and the values and principles that the business stands for, you're not, at the very top of the list is do what you say you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So if you're missing appointments, if you're not doing what you said you do for the customer or client, the whole reason why you were hired in the first place, you're not communicating and taking care of where the deals are coming from, the strategic partner, the funding partner, whoever it is in our business, then that's going to put the whole business at risk.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's hard. Letting someone go is really, really hard, especially in smaller companies where you do kind of form a relationship with every single person. But as an employer, it's just imperative that you remind yourself why you're doing it, that you care more about your family and the families of these employees that are busting their ass. They are bigger than this one individual. And you have to go into it with that mindset and, wish them well, wish them the best. Getting fired doesn't have to be a negative thing. Let them know why you're firing them so that they can work on that themselves. But it's always for the greater good. You've got to maintain that mindset.
And a lot of the times, too, it's lying to yourself, right? The employee starts lying. Well, I do this, I do that. And you're like, well, no, actually, you missed all these appointments. You didn't do what you were supposed to do here. You made a commitment and said, can I do this? And we're like, okay, great, do it. And then you don't do it. It really is just a lack of follow through, which at the end of the day comes down to discipline. Comes down to values, and it comes down to some of the things that are not being taught in school, in homes, in churches across this country. And so those are the things that, you've got to establish as a business owner, what the culture stands for, what the company stands for. And if you do that, then you have to be accountable too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you let so-and-so who's a friend or whatever, that you're kind of friends with in the business, and you let them get away with stuff that you don't let everyone else out, then that hurts the accountability too as a business owner.
Oh, yeah. And that's something you've got to do right from the get-go, because if you don't do it right from the get-go and it's like, hey, well, now there's these policies, the first person gets fired, it's like you're using me to set a precedence. You've got to set those standards right from the get-go, day one, make a handbook, whatever you need to do, set those standards so that the second they start the job, they know what's expected.
Non-negotiable.